These are Roblox games that contain tragic stories within them, starting with Rainbow Friends. It's still one of the biggest Roblox games of all time, but how did it come to be? What is the true story of the Rainbow Friends? Well, many people believe that it's based off of this old live-action puppet show known as Rainbow. The show aired between 1972 and 1992, and not gonna lie, looking at that orange character, I do kind of get some blue vibes from him. He's just missing his crown.
Well, couldn't we have the spaghetti now, Jeffrey? I don't mind eating it cold.
I don't know if blue would really sound like that, though. I believe that Rainbow Friends is a mixture of the 90s show The Teletubbies and Poppy's Playtime, a game about all these mascot-looking characters that actually come to life and attacking humans that dare enter their theme park. Again, very similar to Rainbow Friends, but also very similar to another popular game, also found on Roblox, Five Nights at Freddy's. The game where you work at a pizzeria and must prevent Freddy and the other animatronics from eating you, because they do actually attack anybody that enters the Freddy Pizzeria shop at nighttime. And more than likely, Rainbow Friends does take heavy inspiration off of Five Nights at Freddy's, but now the question is, are both of these games based on a real tragic story? Well, 10 years ago, there's a post by MatPat, aka Game Theory, who discovered a real-life incident at a Chuck E. Cheese in the year 1993. The story goes is that there was 5 employees working at the Chuck E. Cheese cleaning up the restaurant after hours when they didn't realize there was a 6th person inside the building just hiding and waiting for the pizzeria restaurant to close. Once it did, he ended up taking out 4 of the employees with the other one severely injured. Turns out this person was actually fired from the restaurant over the summer and took out his anger on these employees, and thankfully he was arrested shortly after this horrifying event. And MatPat ended up connecting these 5 victims with the mascots found in Five Nights at Freddy's. Not only that, but Scott Games, Scott's the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, ended up retweeting the theory of MatPat and therefore convinced a lot of people believing MatPat's theory that this whole incident was actually the basis of Five Nights at Freddy's. But later on it was revealed that no, it was actually disproven many times in the past. This incident did in fact happen, but it had nothing to do with the creation of Five Nights at Freddy's. The actual story is somewhat still dark. See, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, Scott Cawthon, before he created all these horror games, he wanted to create Christian video games, all of them being very family friendly. And so in the year 2013, he submitted a game to Steam called Chipper & Sons Lumber Co. This is that game. Now, the game isn't really visually interesting, and it seems to be a pretty simple concept. And when people started reviewing the game, they started making fun of the game, specifically the characters, calling it unintentionally creepy and resembled scary animatronics. Essentially saying that all these characters gave them an uncanny valley feeling. Now, because of the negative reviews, and also because at this point Scott was broke at the time, he did enter a dark point in his life. He is quoted as asking God to use him somehow, and that's when he took inspiration from all those reviews calling his characters scary and decided to make a scary horror game known as Five Nights at Freddy's. And that's how this entire franchise came to be, because of the whole Christian game series that ended up bombing for him. But this next story is even darker. Now what you just saw there was a clip from the Roblox game known as Centaura. It's a very popular war game, but it's not your average telling of war. This one is a lot grimmer and a lot darker.
I'm scared, Doc.
So am I.
The game isn't your typical Call of Duty where you're doing no scopes and everything isn't serious. No, in the game Centaura, when your character dies, you hear them die. See, what makes this game special is that it's trying to show the actual horrors of war instead of glorifying it. The game is set in a fictional world, but it has a lot of elements of World War I. And that girl that I showed you in the beginning, she's found in one of these maps called Blackton, where it seems to be a destroyed village that once inhabited people that unfortunately are all dead, except for a few survivors like the girl right here. Now, yes, obviously she is fearing for her life. The game used to actually give her lore, and she does actually have a name. She is Sandra, and her story is that she is captured by a Corvin soldier, one of the factions in this game. And I'm not going to say the full thing of what happens, but they unfortunately do kill her, and the soldier ends up taking her head and saying, "Here is my offering. Help me purify the land they have taken from you." Yeah, this is him offering Sandra's head as a sacrifice to the Corvin god. This statement was found in a document about this game that was later deleted. But yeah, that's not the only sad thing found in Centaura. There's also this couple where this guy is mourning over the death of his wife. I did also find this other video on TikTok which showcased a soldier in his last moments, which then cuts to another soldier informing his mom of her son's passing. I couldn't find the cutscene anywhere else, so I'm not sure if this was fan-made or actually somewhere in this game. But that's not the only sad truth found in Roblox, because we also have this game called Feelings that unfortunately depicts a dark tale of the creator themselves, known as Jenny Feelings. So when you join in the game, you realize it's actually a story. My name is Jenny, and these are my feelings. And yeah, over there we have Jenny crying in her room. And again, this is actually a real story about a real person called Jenny. You pretty much walk through the game and you realize she was being made fun of, being called a loser, a waste of space, and honestly gonna have to censor some of these words on here. And even at home, when she tried to ask for help, they never actually listened to her, making her honestly feel isolated. So she decided to make this whole game to just kind of vent off her feelings, saying things that she just wants to be normal, she just wants to be loved, she just wants someone to like her for who she is, and then this other statement that I can't say on here. The game was made in 2017, and according to this old update, it's been 5 years since then, and she's a lot better. And now hopefully she's doing fine. I noticed in one of the games there was a Jenny memorial that somebody made for her, where they kind of make it seem like she's gone. I mean, her game did unfortunately get banned again, and it doesn't seem like she's been on in a while, so hopefully she's doing good and just moved off of Roblox. I had to play a clone of the game to be able to showcase all this again. But now we move on to the dark story of this popular game known as Dress to Impress. And no, I'm not talking about the Lana lore, I'm talking about the actual incidents of what made Dress to Impress what it is today. So we all know Dress to Impress. It's a game where you dress up your character and then compete with others to perform on the runway, giving the other competitors a rating between 1 through 5 stars. The game is pretty simple and unique, except it's actually based off 2 other games. See, Dress to Impress came out in the year 2023, but before that we had Fashion Famous, the game that came out in the year 2016. Again, another game where you go around, pick out hair, clothing, makeup, and then get judged by the other competitors. There's a whole runway as well as the whole star ratings. So Dress to Impress isn't actually unique, but neither is Fashion Famous, because this one is also based off of another game called Top Roblox Runway Model, a game that was created in the year 2014. But this is where things get very dark. See, Top Roblox Runway Model is a game with 135.4 million visits, but something happened to cause this game to become abandoned. See, the game, just like the other 2, had a similar aesthetic. You go around choosing clothes, and it was very popular, actually so popular that it ended up being a target for hackers and exploiters, causing this seemingly cute game to end up looking like this. Yeah, so we've got music playing in reverse, the entire set's on fire, everything's in black and red. It's actually not the first time it got hacked. They got hacked by Team Cool Kid, where they spammed music for everyone. Oh geez, gonna have to blur out a lot of these things going on here. Started freezing people, and there's also this hacking incident which spammed the entire game with a whole bunch of anime characters. It was all these hacking incidents and glitches that caused players to move on to other games, ones that are a lot more better looking and also less likely to get hacked. I mean, but even then, Dress to Impress does get hacked at some points. And also, if you're curious, this is how Dress to Impress used to look like when it first came out. It honestly seems very basic and not as colorful as what we now know it as. But now it's time we learn the horrifying truth of the Backrooms. The Backrooms is very obviously popular on Roblox, likely based off of this video called The Backrooms Found Footage, in which a guy is recording with his 2 friends when suddenly he trips and glitches through the world, entering what we know as the Backrooms. Here he goes on to explore different hallways when he notices that the Backrooms is actually a giant maze-like area, and not only that, he realizes that he's being followed by someone or something. But now what is this actually based off of? Is the Backrooms actually true? Well, sort of. See, the entire Backrooms story all started by this one image that actually is real, and it's this empty looking building with yellow wallpaper and a yellow-brown looking carpet. Now, where does this image come from? Well, this is where the mystery actually begins. See, it was first posted on 4chan when a user wrote, "Post disquieting images that just feel off." And so there's this image that was posted, and then 2 days later after that image was posted, an anonymous user got that picture and decided to write a story about it, titled The Backrooms. And they write that if you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, and God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure has heard you. And so that's how the story of the Backrooms actually started, by this random person who we don't actually know the identity of. But what we still don't know is where this image actually came from. And so a hunt began. There's people that are trying to find the patterns of this wallpaper to try to find the origin and year. And people also started going on Google Maps, and that's where they found something interesting. See, there ended up being a Reddit post labeled Rabbit's Hole, and if you go to the coordinates, you see what looks to be similarly to the Backrooms, but then you look down and realize there's literally an endless hole. And yes, this was all found on Google Maps. Later on, people would find more things around Google Maps, such as text saying, "Don't search or you'll sink," but it turns out it was actually an ARG from this YouTube channel called Billy Le Robot, so it ended up not being real, but it was actually posted on Google Maps, which is kind of confusing. But back to trying to find the origins of this picture, people would end up exploring different rooms believed to be the origins of the Backrooms, but again, nothing was ever found. The story and this first picture on 4chan was posted back in the year 2019, but finally, on May 29th, 2024, someone actually found the origins of the Backrooms. A Twitter user by the name The Goofball had a friend who found the backroom location, and it was revealed that this photo is from a location in Wisconsin, and that these two pictures are from the year 2002. And there's actually proof of this. If you go to the Wayback Machine and go all the way to May 3rd, 2003, you realize that what we're seeing here, this whole Backrooms, was actually an old furniture store. Apparently there was actually some water damage in these two images, so the whole moldy carpet on that one story was actually correct. Still crazy that it took this long to actually find out information about the real Backrooms. Anyways, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.